long time ago, we were all here, and Tony, you were telling a story about there was a hole out in the yard, and Mary Ann somehow got in that hole.
Oh, that's when she fell in the toilet.
They had to dig a new toilet hole. You know, every once in a while, the outhouse, it would get filled up, and you had to dig a new toilet hole. And Mary Ann woke up overnight and had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, when she could.
And it had rained, and,
She fell, got right in that hole.
yeah, I was she mad.
Oh, poor girl.
So that's
We
pretty
had
gory.
to set a chair in that hole, and so she could stand up on that chair and then pull her out of there.
Yeah, my dad said that when she stood on that chair, that would just sink right down.
Because it was wet and muddy.
Oh, there, Tony's laughing.
And she was cussing, good night anyhow.
Yeah, I bet she was. Oh, way up.
She wasn't saying like me. Well, when World War II came, what do you?
I have
Oh,
one more
well,
question before you
go
say
ahead.
that. You guys have had stories about Mary Ann. Do you have any about Tommy?
Not really.
We had to
Yeah.
watch him real close because he would wander away. He didn't know enough to stay around the buildings, you know.
Didn't he wander south on that road one time and they found him in the, and he had a bucket on his head?
Well, no, there was a ditch, and that ditch had a lot of water in it. And he was in that ditch of water.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had his pony, and he had it so that he would get that pony, was it by the fence? So that he could get on it, climb on that fence and get on the pony.
He wasn't
We had that
actually,
pony at our house, remember that?
You know, I remember Tommy when he was little. He was, you know,
He was pretty good.
he was hitting pretty good, and I
Yeah.
think puberty just whatever.
He was a big guy, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't. He's still he's a little guy. We stop and see him. He's
I don't remember much of him at all.
very much left it of him now.
Yeah.
And we would play, and then with Grandpa, I think, let's say he bought a small horse, and it was more like a Shetland, and I
It was a
think they're,
Shetland
and the darn thing would, you know how you have the two doors going in there, you know, going into the barn? Well, the bottom door was open and he would go underneath and
Yeah.
whoever was riding it would go off the back. And so,
Well, wasn't the horse got smart enough too to go along the fence?
yeah, rub your leg.
So,
And one time, we would do the inrows, and Grandpa got to put the horse out, thought we would do good. So we got out in the field, and our tire went down. Dad says, "Why don't you run home and get the pump?" So, good idea. So I was going to get on the horse and let the horse out. So I gets on the horse, and then you know how the handle, I was holding the handle, and the handle was into the horse, threw me off.
but he used to go with Dad on, like, out in the field, didn't he? And like during corn picking, he would sit in the wagon, and he loved that. He loved to go with Dad
Yeah,
out in the
he
field.
used to ride the wagon, and then, you know, he had corn that come up with leaves, a lot of leaves on. He all day, he would sit there and pick them leaves off of the corn. It's just too bad, if he'd have gotten as much better as what he got worse, he'd have probably been pretty healthy.
Well, even Mary Ann was helpful. She would do dishes and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, she would be, and I think that's why they didn't put her, you know, she would carry her own weight
Yeah.
for quite a while.
And when she would make a bed or do dishes, she'd come and take you by the hand, and you had to go, she had to show you what she did. Then you tell her what a good job she did.
Because she did a good job.
Yeah.
She did a good job.
My sister Mary Ann. She was a sweetheart.
So, when World War II started, what did you all think, or what you must have had friends that fought in the war. Do you have any comments to make about that? 'Cause that had to be one of the biggest things that ever happened.
Yeah. Yeah. it-
I was going to the public school at that time, south of our place, and the rest were all Polish. And Poland was fighting the Germans.
Right.
I was German.
Yeah.
Boy, there were some bad days down there.
I bet. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
The Vic Preister's brother got killed in it. Did you?
Leonard, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know him very well?
I knew Leonard real well.
Really?
Was he older or younger than Vic?
Older.
Older.
Older Vic.
I know he was before or after him.
Well, when WW2 started, that broke up the Depression too, because there was all
Yeah.
recession here. And then put everybody back to work, and from that time till now, it's been good times, I believe.
Well, I read your story, and you talk a lot about how you went and you kind of had it easy to begin with,
Yes.
and then you volunteered for some infantry.
Well, I thought they didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was gonna get in there, get right in the middle of it, and then that war.
All they need is a farmer to help them, to show them what to do.
I wasn't there 20 minutes, I knew I made a mistake, so.
I have the box of letters that my dad wrote to my mom during World War I.
Oh,
And I was just going through, well, I've had them since we emptied out the house. And I was going through them one day here a couple weeks ago. And in one letter, he said he was on night guard duty. And so I'm writing this on my knee. I wish it were you on my knee instead.
Boy.
And all kinds of X's and zeros and.
really? They had that back then.
SWAK. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
SWAK, I'm not
Well,
familiar.
so bad.
I didn't know 40
Really?
With a carrot.
See, I don't.
Uh,